Hey team, welcome to our Summerfest training video. First, let's go over our general operation overview. It is very important that before your first shift that you get to know your venue. Our Summerfest operation consists of 5 stands, and 3 of our stands are in the amphitheater to the right of the venue. Those will consist of our north and south berm stands, our SC4 stands, and then we will also have a stand at both the Generac and the U-line stages to the left of check-in. There is no parking provided directly by Summerfest, but you can look up public parking options and bus routes using the Summerfest app on your phone. Check-in will be at gate 6, and once you enter gate 6, you will check in with your E2S site lead under the white tent next to the trailer right through gate 6. Next, let's go over our staff roles available at Summerfest and what you can expect. What roles are available at our stands? Well, we have barbacks, runners, and cashiers. Barbacks will produce shakers or cocktails for the cashiers and runners. Our runners will grab beers or drinks or cocktails from the back of the house to the front of the house for cashiers, and cashiers will facilitate customer transactions and maximize the tip volume for the stand. Some best practices as a cashier or a runner or a barback include upselling. Cashiers, if a customer only orders 1 beer, ask them if they want another. Shaker cocktails are a hot ticket item, so make sure you're always working to upsell those. Also follow the E2S cashier script and say cheers after each sale. Over communicate with your site lead and your stand lead on restock needs, and make sure that you're never behind on production or product. Next, let's go over our venue layout overview. We will view everything in the venue relative to check-in at gate 6, and remember, you can always find parking or bus route options through the Summerfest app on your phone. Once you enter gate 6 and you're at check-in, the Generac stage will be directly straight from check-in, and then our U-line East stage stand will be all the way to the left of the venue by the U-line stage. Then we will have our amphitheater stands, which include North Berm, South Berm, and SC4, which relative to check-in, you'll walk all the way to the right of the venue to get to the amphitheater, and then as you enter, if you walk left to right, you will pass North Berm, South Berm, and then SC4 on the very far side of the amphitheater. Next, let's dig into our product overview. We'll serve a lot of different product types at each of our stands, but first, let's dig into our canned beer options. We serve domestic, premium, Topo Chico, Simply Spiked Lemonade, craft beer, and seltzer options. Remember that we may only serve 2 beers per customer transaction, and that we must open every canned beer we serve. Next, let's dig into our liquor offerings. These are the tiered liquor options that we offer at each stand, and it's very important that you know these so that you know what price range to ring up for each different type of specialty cocktail or cocktail that we serve. Tier 1 includes Deep Eddy, Jose Cuervo, and Jim Beam. Tier 2 includes Tito's, Homitos, Maker's Mark, Jack Daniels, Captain Morgan, Bacardi, and Tanqueray. And then Tier 3 includes premium liquors such as Grey Goose, Crown Royal, Five Trail, Goslings, Hendricks, and Bastille Hayden's. To dive deeper into the specialty cocktails and specifically what kind of cups we'll serve each out of, just remember you will take tiered spirit options and utilize mixers to create specialty cocktails, and it really matters what cup we're serving because we serve different cups at different prices. Our Summerfest specialty cocktails include our Central Standard Door, our County Vodka and Honey Bourbon Smash, a frozen margarita for the amphitheater stands, Red Bull vodka, and then a blue tie affair and a blackberry lemonade brandy, which comes pre-mixed. You will serve these cocktails in 3 different types of cups: a shaker cup, which is priced at $19.50, a 12-ounce cup, which is normal price, and then a mason jar, which is a simple $2 upcharge. Next, let's dive into our bar equipment, what kinds of bar equipment you'll be using, and how to use it, because this will all be very important to you operating within one of our stands at Summerfest. The types of bar equipment you'll be utilizing at Summerfest include our Red Bull fridge, which is for Red Bull only, our Pepsi fridge, which is for soda products only, specifically Pepsi, water, and then soda, our tall and low coolers for beer, our ice bins, our liquor rails for spirits, our tubs and our Truff gravity rack, a fruit caddy for specialty cocktails, a frozen margarita machine, and then a cheese dispenser and a heated display cabinet for any hot food items we may be serving that night. Next, let's review checking in and what to do once you get to your stand. Next, let's review our general event timeline. Our Summerfest timeline is a bit complicated because the amphitheater will normally open later than our Generac and U-line stands, and our Generac and U-line staff arrivals will normally be earlier than our amphitheater stand staff arrivals. So, our important times during the event are definitely your report time based off your shift assignment, the sales start time, intermission periods of concerts, and then alcohol cutoff, because this varies depending on if you're at a Generac stand, a U-line stand, or in the amphitheater. Now let's dive deep into our check-in flow. The flow of check-in will go as follows. Make sure that you arrive on time, and then that you check in with your gate lead inside of gate 6. There you'll get a Summerfest polo and a wristband from the site lead at check-in. Then you'll take our on-site service quiz, and then our site lead will review our break and meal policy with you. Then you will head to your stand and meet with your stand lead, where then you'll get a rundown on what stand setup responsibilities you must complete before sales start. Then you'll prepare the stand for sales, and be sure to ask any questions you have to site leadership before sales start. Lastly, 20 minutes before gates open and sales start, your stand lead will lead a pre-shift huddle where they will review all of our policies, go over the flow of our operations during sales, and then acknowledge any tips that can help you succeed during the shift. Right at the end of the circle, we'll gather back in, put our left arm in, and then on 3, cheers. And then we'll get ready for a great night. Some pretty important notes on prepping the stand for sales include product displays, and here is a great example of what a proper Summerfest product display should look like inside of one of our taller small beer coolers. You should also set up speed lines, and any hot food items like nachos, have them pre-made and next to cash registers to reduce motion waste. Have cocktails pre-made so that we don't ever get behind on production, and just make sure as a unit we look good, we're perfectly uniformed, and that we're preparing ourselves for super busy times during sales. Next, let's review during sales and how to operate during sales at Summerfest. First, let's review the cashier-runner relationship. Pre-shift, one runner should be paired to every 2 cashiers within the stand, and one runner should be paired with every 1 barback or production staffer within the stand. You should all work together to overproduce shakers and cocktails to get ahead on production, and then during sales, runners and barbacks will continue to help with production and get drinks to a cashier as efficiently as possible, and runners will specifically get drinks from production to the front line so that cashiers can grab it easier and not walk all the way to the back of house to grab any items. The big theme here is reducing cashier motion waste, because we need to reduce their motion waste in order to increase the overall amount of transactions during the shift, which in turn will maximize tip splits for all staff within the stand. Next, let's review our point of sale system. You could either be using one of these hard point of sale systems, which will have the login information on a sticker or nearby the point of sale system, most likely in the bottom left corner of the screen. And then when making a sale, you'll simply click the picture of the item, click the green checkout button in the bottom right corner, and then proceed to check out the customer as normal. You could also be using a handheld point of sale system, which functions the same as a hard point of sale system in regards to you will always click on the picture of the item to add it to your cart. But for these, you will need to get the PIN number from your site lead at check-in. So just know, if you have a handheld point of sale system, you will need to find that login information from either your site lead or your stand lead. Whether you're working either a hard point of sale or a mobile point of sale system, you must remember to always follow the E2S cashier script, that the customer must always tap their card themselves, and that you may never self-select the tip option for yourself. Next, let's review general tips for you to maximize more sales and tips throughout the shift. First, always utilize our E2S service script to upsell and to maximize sales. Always say cheers after each transaction. Then always remember the 10-5-3 rule, which means 10 feet we're squared away, smiling and making eye contact. 5 feet away, we're saying hello, and then 3 feet away, we're starting to engage with the customer and asking them if they have any questions about the products or how their day's going. Always utilize our upselling techniques and know the products and prices in your bar. Inform the guest of the higher price point items to upsell, and always offer add-ons like water, Red Bull, koozies, or snacks. Also remember, during downtime, you should be getting ready for the next rush, organizing, stocking, and cleaning as you go. Be clean, organized, and have a merchandised bar, which always will be attractive to guests and maximize the potential for you to make a sale. Next, let's review our alcohol policies at Summerfest. Law number 1, you may never serve more than 2 beers per customer. If they have one in their hand, you may only serve them one more. Law number 2, you must ID every customer, and if you have any doubt as to the validity of the ID, you are empowered to say no. Law number 3, open every beer we serve, keep the caps, and throw them away at the end of the shift. Alcohol law number 4, never serve to a customer that already seems intoxicated, but also never accuse the customer of being intoxicated, and always confer with your supervisor or your stand lead if you have any doubts as to their sobriety level. Some shaker cup specific notes: similar to the 2 beer limit, never serve a customer more than 2 shakers at a time. If they have one in their hand, you may only serve them one more. Some other rules: we do not have plastic straws per the city of Milwaukee. The exception is for our frozen drinks. We may also have some pour only shows, which means we have to pour out every liquid drink that we serve into a plastic cup as shown below. They're normally 24 ounces. Also remember that after 7 p.m. we must remove all caps across the grounds, and then in the amphitheater we will always remove the caps from our beers. Per our Eats and Seats alcohol service policy, any violation of these rules or any accusation of violating these rules from the venue will result in immediate termination. Lastly, let's review our close down and checkout procedures at Summerfest. Our general close down procedures are pretty straightforward, but to confirm, close down varies depending on how long the acts stay on stage, which is specific to concert events at the amphitheater. But in general, remember, our stands open at different times and they will close at different times. Staff close down responsibilities include restocking fridges, wiping down counters, throwing away trash, breaking down cardboard boxes, assisting the stand lead with ending inventory counts, putting any liquor back in the warehouse storage unit, ensuring all fridges are locked, washing any dishes that were used, ensuring any hot food machines were clean. And then site lead assignments include checking out Eats a Seat staff, collecting Eats a Seats hats and venue shirts at gate 6, ensuring that point of sale systems are returned and in working condition, and then finalizing the inventory paperwork with the stand leads at the end of the shift. Examples of properly cleaned and restocked fridges and stands. The overarching theme of close down at Eats a Seats is to leave the stand the way you found it, unless you found it in a bad spot, and then we would leave it better than we found it. Thank you for watching this video. Please text your ROD or email any questions you have to support@eatsaseats.com and we will get back to you ASAP. Be sure to take the quiz for this video on your Eats a Seats staff app under the My Trainings tab. And then finally, thank you, may God bless America, and may God bless Eats a Seats.